Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be talking about and showing you how I would choose the England squad, what players I'd start and what shape I'd play. The goalkeeping situation for England is a strange one. The best performing English goalkeeper would have been third choice for Southgate if he was fit, that being Sam Johnston. Pickford was good last season, but Johnston was up there for being one of the best in the league. However, he's injured. So Pickford and Ramsdale. And in the third spot, that's contested by a few players, Dean Henderson and Nick Pope really being the main two. Usually, I would have gone with Pope because of how good of a shot stopper he is, but last season he looked a little more shaky, and I'm gonna go with Henderson, same as Southgate. At right back, I'm bringing Kyle Walker. While I haven't been impressed with him recently, and especially at the Euros, he's been caught out of position a few times and he's lost a yard of pace. He's still quick, but over the next year or two, he's going to start having his positioning exploited while he slows down. I'm only bringing one other natural right back, being Trent Alexander Arnold. I don't think I really need to validate why I would bring Trent, but people will be asking, where is Trippier? And that's a fair question, and I've got a brutally honest answer for it. He wasn't good last season, especially in 2024. He just didn't look like the Trippier of 22-23. I'll talk about the other side before I talk about the centre. The first choice left back, despite being injured for the start of the tournament, is Luke Shaw, and I will be bringing him because he is the best English left back. And I would actually take another left back. Take some notes, Southgate, you might learn something. Tyrick Mitchell is joining my squad after an impressive season for Palace. It was him or Rico Henry, but I think that Mitchell's the slightly better player and a little more defensively solid. Now, for the centre, I'm bringing John Stones because he's England's best centre back. That's just a fact. I'll keep going with the ones that Southgate has as well. Esri Konsa stays. He's up there with Rice for England's best player this tournament for me, and he's been really good for Villa. Lewis Dunk stays, being one of the most underrated players for a while now. People say that he's good, but they don't really acknowledge him quietly being one of the best centre backs in the league for a few years now. Joe Gomez also stays, being versatile and being in the best form of his life, keeping Robertson out of the Liverpool team at times. And people don't actually know that, who might have thought that Robertson played non-stop after his return from injury. But he's only completed 90 minutes in less than half of the games since his return, due to Joe Gomez playing really good football. Now, I am taking Gehi out of the squad, and it's got nothing to do with him. It's just unfortunate that with the squad that I'm picking, he occupies slots that are taken by Stones and Dunk. Dunk hasn't started to decline yet, and I'm picking a team for right now. The final centre back that I'm picking is a guy that Southgate just seems to have a vendetta with. It's Tomori. It's that simple. He's England's second best centre back, and Southgate just refuses to use him, playing him in 2 games in 2023 in complete nothing friendlies. I'll go position by position in midfield. For holding midfielders, I'm going to go with Rice because he's the only world class holding mid that England have. And for the other, I'm dropping Adam Wharton in favour of Ward Prowse. Wharton may be slightly better defensively, but years of watching Ward Prowse, and especially since he's joined West Ham, he's been phenomenal. For West Ham, he's been playing higher up the pitch than he did at Southampton, but he's my second choice for holding midfield, and he provides some cover for the 8 as well. Now then, the players that I'm bringing to play as an 8, first of all, Jude Bellingham, all will be revealed later as to why he's playing as an 8, and Kobbie Mainoo, who's been United's best player this season, though that's not really a high bar. He will be world class very soon, and that's why he stays. And finally, a cover for both the 8, the 10, and off the left, Eze. Yes, I'm dropping Conor Gallagher. I think he's been terrible this tournament, and despite being very good for Chelsea last season, I just think that Ward-Prowse is a better option for both 6 and 8, for what I've already said, and for a reason I'll be bringing up later on in the video. The dedicated 10s that I'm going to be bringing are Foden, because I feel like he'll flourish with the players that I'll have around him. Similarly, Cole Palmer, the other option for the 10. Both players, I feel, will perform better for England in a central role than Foden off the left or Palmer off the right. On the right-hand side of the attack, I'm going with Rio Ferdinand's favourite player of all time in Bukayo Saka, and a pattern that will continue on the left as well is that we have one very good technical player in Saka, and I'm also bringing Bowen to be a direct runner for the right-hand side. Like I said, on the left it continues. Gordon stays in the team and is the direct runner, and the technical player that I'll have is Jack Grealish, who seems to have been like the forgotten toy since Doku signed for City. Having Grealish in the squad is one of the reasons for having Ward-Prowse as well. If it's late in the game, imagine a player who's been chasing Anthony Gordon around all game. They're going to be tired. And then on comes Jack Grealish. He gets fouled a lot anyway. How is it going to be, towards the end of a game, fresh Jack Grealish against someone who's been chasing around Anthony Gordon all game? There's free kicks to be won there. And who do you want taking those free kicks? James Ward-Prowse. That's what you'd call a change in tactic while retaining the same shape, which is something that Gareth Southgate seems to be allergic to. Centrally, the 3 strikers that are at the tournament are the correct 3, in my opinion. Watkins isn't being used anywhere near enough, and I'm not sure if Kane's fit or not. The only one I considered not bringing was Tony, because he was great when he came back to Brentford. Everyone remembers that, but people forget how poor he was towards the end of the season. Like, March, April, May, he was bad. I debated Solanke because he never went on a goalless run for more than 3 games last season, and on form, he's better than Tony. But I have faith that Tony can and will put in a performance when called on for England. So that's Guehi, Trippier, Gallagher and Wharton out, and Tomori, Mitchell, Ward-Prowse and Grealish in. Now then, the starting 11 and how they shape up. I'm going to be using Football Manager for this, just to give a little graphic and an example of what positions are where. In goal, Pickford keeps his place, no explanation needed. On the right side of the defence, Trent takes Walker's place to bring some creativity from that side and more bodies centrally in possession. To balance this, Tomori comes in and helps cover that space with his physical attributes. The other centre-back obviously being John Stones on the left-hand side, and for left-back, Shaw when he's fit, and Mitchell for the earlier games. If we're a goal or 2 up and you want to be more defensive while also not completely killing the game, you can bring on Joe Gomez at the left. The midfield 3, which becomes a midfield 4 when Trent inverts, would be Rice holding, because he is the holding mid of the squad, and he would play much deeper than the rest if Gomez isn't playing at left back, to have a kind of back 3 in case of like misplaced passes to cover the counter. Bellingham in the 8, which honestly blows my mind that people forget that he is an 8. He's only just started playing the 10 at Real Madrid. He played as an 8 for Dortmund the entire time, and he is very defensively solid, which leaves room for Foden in the 10, and I think he'll perform much better in this system compared to off the left for Southgate. On the right, Saka keeps his place, and honestly, with Trent, Bellingham and Foden all playing, he just needs to be told to make more runs. Because they'll find him at some point if he keeps trying to make runs in behind. They will get to him. On the left, Gordon should be starting, and should be starting for Southgate as well. He'll make run after run after run down that left-hand side, and that's exactly what England have been missing all tournament, is runners in behind. In the middle, I'd be doing a fitness evaluation on Harry Kane, and if he's fine, he's getting instructions to press out of possession but to stop dropping so far deep in possession, because that's part of why Bellingham, Saka, and Foden have hardly created anything. There is no striker there. And if Kane isn't fit, then Watkins takes up the same role with the added bonus of being another player capable of running in behind. Like I said, there are some changes that you can make that don't disrupt the balance of the team entirely. Grealish and Ward-Prowse on for Gordon and either Rice, Bellingham or Foden. I think that if I make that change, I'd also be doing Bowen for Saka as well, especially if Kane is playing, so that there is at least one player who's fresh who's going to be making runs in behind. If we want to be more solid in a game, Bellingham can go back to the 10, and we can play Mainu or Ward-Prowse in the 8. No player is undroppable, and that's something that Gareth Southgate needs to figure out. If we want to be more solid in a game that Bellingham isn't playing well in, it should be him that comes off. There seems to be too much of a focus on Bellingham and Saka, and not on the system, because the system seems to be just keep a solid shape at all costs, and sometimes a fullback will make a run into the opposition half. In terms of attacking moves that have been worked on in camp, I just don't see what it is that they've been drilling. Anyway, let me know what do you think of my squad and shape in the comments, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.